Have you ever watched someone steal your entire life right in front of your eyes while everyone else just smiled and nodded? If you love stories about brave women who fight back against betrayal, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Viral Tales. We want to know where you are watching from because we love hearing from you in the comments below. The courtroom was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Maya sat in her chair, her hands folded on the wooden table in front of her. Her heart was beating fast, but her face stayed calm. She had practiced keeping her face calm for months now. She had to, because showing her real feelings would ruin everything. Across from her sat Derek, her husband of 12 years. Well, he would not be her husband much longer. That was why they were all here today. Derek wore his best suit, the dark blue one that Maya had helped him pick out 3 years ago when his business started making real money. Back then, he had kissed her cheek and said she had the best taste in the whole world. Today, Derek would not even look at her, but he had no problem looking at the woman sitting right behind him. Amanda, the woman with long blonde hair, that she kept flipping over her shoulder like she was in a shampoo commercial. Amanda wore a tight red dress and high heels that clicked loudly on the floor when she walked. She held a fancy paper fan and waved it in front of her face. Even though the courtroom was not hot at all, Amanda smiled. It was not a nice smile. It was the kind of smile a cat makes right before it catches a mouse. She leaned forward and whispered something in Derek's ear. He smiled too. They both looked so happy, like they had already won some big prize. Maya felt her stomach twist into a knot, but she kept her face blank, empty, like there was nothing inside her at all. Derek's lawyer, a tall man with slick back hair and an expensive watch, pushed a stack of papers across the table toward Derek. "Sign here, Mr. Thompson," the lawyer said in a bored voice, like this was just another Tuesday for him. "Then we can finally put this whole unfortunate situation behind us." Derek picked up his gold pen. Maya remembered when she bought him that pen for his birthday 5 years ago. She had saved up money for 2 months to afford it. The pen cost more than her winter coat, but she wanted Derek to have something special, something that said, "I believe in you." Now he was using that same pen to end their marriage. Derek signed his name with a big, swooping signature. The pen made scratching sounds on the paper. When he finished, he put the pen down and looked back at Amanda. She blew him a little kiss. Finally free, Amanda said, loud enough for everyone in the courtroom to hear. Now Derek can live the kind of life he always deserved, with someone who actually fits into his world. Maya's hands tightened into fists under the table, but she did not move. She did not speak. She just watched. The judge sat at the front of the courtroom, behind his big desk. Judge Rivera was an older man with gray hair and tired eyes that had seen too many sad stories. He wore his black robe, and he had been writing notes on a pad of paper during the whole thing. Now he looked up. His eyes moved from Derek to Amanda, then finally to Maya. Something flickered in the judge's face. Maya saw it, a tiny flash of anger, maybe, or disgust. But it was gone so fast she almost thought she imagined it. "Mrs. Thompson," the lawyer said, pushing the papers toward Maya now. "Your turn to sign. Let's end this in a civilized manner." Maya reached out slowly and picked up the pen they gave her. It was not special like Derek's gold pen. It was just a regular black pen, the cheap kind you get at any store. Her hand trembled just a little bit as she held it. Everyone was watching her now. Derek, Amanda, the lawyers, the judge, even the court reporter in the corner, who typed everything that was said. For just a moment, Maya let herself remember. She remembered the day she met Derek at the community college library. He was 22 and she was 20. He had smiled at her over a stack of business books and asked if she knew anything about accounting. She did, actually. She was really good with numbers. They ended up studying together that whole semester, then dating, then planning a future. Maya had a college degree in business. She was smart. She could have gotten a good job at any company. But Derek had dreams of starting his own business, and he needed help. He needed someone who believed in him, someone who would work late nights doing paperwork while he met with clients, someone who would put her own dreams on hold so his dreams could come true. I will pay you back for all of this, Derek had promised her once, kissing her forehead. When the business takes off, we will travel the world together. You will have everything you ever wanted. Maya had believed him. She always believed him. His business did take off. 3 years ago, it started making real money. Lots of money. Derek bought a bigger house, fancier cars, expensive suits, and then he hired Amanda as his assistant. That was when everything started to change. At first, it was small things. Derek came home later and later from work. He said he had meetings. Important meetings that could not wait. His shirt started smelling like perfume, sweet and flowery, nothing like what Maya wore. When she asked about it, Derek got angry. Stop being so suspicious, he would snap. I am working hard to give us a good life. Can you not just be grateful? Then the phone call started. Late at night, Derek's phone would buzz and buzz. He would grab it quickly and walk into another room. Just work stuff, he would say when he came back. But he would not look Maya in the eyes anymore. The final proof came 6 months ago at the company party. It was a big celebration because Derek's business had made more money than ever before. Everyone was dressed up fancy at a restaurant that cost more for one meal than most people spent on food in a month. Amanda had organized the whole party. She wore a white dress that sparkled under the lights. She made a speech thanking everyone for their hard work. But when she got to the part about Derek, her voice got all soft and sweet like honey. And special thanks to Derek, Amanda said, touching his shoulder with her hand. You are such an inspiration. You came from nothing and built all this. She paused and looked right at Maya. You even married someone so different from you. It shows how open-minded you are. The whole room got quiet. Some people coughed. Some looked down at their plates. A few people actually laughed, like Amanda had told a joke. Maya felt her face get hot. She knew exactly what Amanda meant by different. She meant that Maya was black and Derek was white. She meant that Maya grew up without a lot of money, while Derek's family had been comfortable. She meant that Maya did not belong in this fancy world of expensive restaurants and designer clothes. Derek should have said something. He should have defended his wife. But he just looked down at his napkin and stayed silent. That night in the car, Maya finally confronted him. Are you sleeping with Amanda? Derek's hands tightened on the steering wheel. What? No, you are being paranoid. Then why did you let her humiliate me like that in front of everyone? She was not humiliating you. You are just too sensitive. Maybe if you try to fit in better, learn how to act around these people, it would not be so awkward. Maya stared at him. Act how? Be someone I am not. Be someone who does not embarrass me. Derek shouted. The words hung in the air between them like poison. That was the moment Maya knew. Her husband did not love her anymore. Maybe he never really had. Maybe she had just been useful to him. Someone to do the hard work while he climbed the ladder to success. And now that he had success, he wanted someone else. Someone who looked better standing next to him. Someone like Amanda. Now, sitting in this courtroom with everyone staring at her, Maya held that cheap pen in her hand. She looked down at the divorce papers that would end 12 years of her life. And then she smiled. It was a small smile, a secret smile, because Maya had been very, very busy these past few months. And what she had discovered was about to turn Derek and Amanda's victory party into the worst day of their entire lives. The campaign to destroy Maya had not started in the courtroom. It had been going on for months, piece by piece, like someone slowly tearing down a house brick by brick. Amanda was smart about it. She did not do anything big and obvious at first. She started small. At company events, she would interrupt Maya when she was talking. Oh, sorry, did I cut you off? Amanda would say with fake sweetness, I just get so excited about these topics. I studied them in college, at Stanford. She said Stanford the way other people say, I won the lottery. Like it made her better than everyone else. At the summer barbecue, Amanda talked loudly about her trip to Paris. The wine there is just incredible, she gushed to a group of wives. Of course, you have to really understand French culture to appreciate it. Then she looked at Maya. Have you ever been to France, Maya? Maya shook her head. No, not yet. Oh. Amanda's face made a sad expression that was not sad at all. Well, Derek really should travel with someone who can appreciate those finer things. It is important for business, you know. The other women nodded. Some of them gave Maya looks that were supposed to be kind, but just made her feel worse. Like they felt sorry for her. Like she was a puppy that got left out in the rain. But the worst part was not Amanda. The worst part was Derek. Every time Amanda said something mean, Derek said nothing. Every time she made Maya feel small, Derek looked the other way. And when Maya tried to talk to him about it, he acted like she was crazy. "You are imagining things," he said one night after dinner. "Amanda is just confident. Maybe you should be more like her instead of complaining all the time." "More like her?" Maya repeated, her voice shaking. "Derek, she is trying to take my place. She is trying to push me out." Derek slammed his hand on the table. "There you go again, always thinking everyone is against you. Maybe the problem is not Amanda. Maybe the problem is you." Those words cut deeper than any knife. The breaking point came at the company's 10-year anniversary party. Amanda had planned the whole thing. She picked a fancy country club where everything was white. White tablecloths, white flowers, white walls. Maya felt like a dark spot on a blank page. Everyone there was rich. They wore clothes that cost more than Maya's car. They talked about vacation homes and private schools and investments. Maya tried to join conversations, but people kept looking past her, like she was invisible. During dinner, Amanda stood up to give a speech. She wore a silver dress that caught all the light. She thanked everyone for coming. She talked about how far the company had come. And then she said the words that made Maya's blood turn to ice. "I want to give special thanks to Derek," Amanda announced, looking right at him with shining eyes. "You have worked so hard to build this company. And you have been so brave in your personal life, too." She paused. Everyone got quiet. It takes a special person to be so accepting and open-minded, even when society might judge you for your choices. Even when you pick someone so completely different from your background and upbringing. The room went silent. You could have heard a feather drop. Maya felt every eye turn to her. Some people looked uncomfortable. Others whispered to each other behind their hands. A few actually nodded, like Amanda had said something wise and true. What Amanda was really saying was clear. She was saying that Derek had made a mistake marrying Maya, that Maya did not belong in this world, that a successful white man like Derek should never have married a black woman who grew up poor. Maya's hand shook. Her eyes burned with tears that she refused to let fall. She looked at Derek, waiting for him to say something, anything, to tell Amanda she was wrong, to defend his wife. But Derek just sat there. He looked down at his plate and cut his steak into tiny pieces, like it was the most interesting thing in the world. That silence hurt more than anything Amanda could have said. When they got in the car that night, Maya finally exploded. "How could you just sit there?" she demanded. "How could you let her say those things about me? About us?" Derek started the car and pulled out of the parking lot. His jaw was tight. She did not say anything bad. "You are twisting her words." Twisting her words? Maya could not believe what she was hearing. "Derek, she basically told everyone that you lowered yourself by marrying me." "That is not what she said." Derek shouted back. "You are being paranoid. You are jealous of Amanda because she is educated and sophisticated and knows how to act in social situations." The words hit Maya like a punch to the stomach. This was not about Amanda anymore. This was about what Derek really thought. Deep down, he was ashamed of Maya, ashamed of where she came from, ashamed of who she was. "So that is what you really think," Maya said quietly. "That I am not good enough for you." Derek said nothing, and his silence was the loudest answer of all. After that night, things got even worse. Amanda started posting pictures on social media. Pictures of her and Derek at restaurants. The same restaurants where Derek used to take Maya on their anniversary. Amanda wore jewelry that looked exactly like pieces Maya had wanted, but Derek said they could not afford. Too expensive right now, he had told Maya just 3 months ago when she admired a gold bracelet in a store window. "We need to save money for the business." But apparently they had enough money for Amanda to wear a gold bracelet in every single photo. The neighbors started whispering. Maya could see them peeking through their curtains when Derek's car pulled up late at night. She could hear them talking in the grocery store, their voices dropping to hushed tones when she walked down the aisle. Such a shame, one woman said to another by the frozen foods. She seemed like such a nice girl. But I guess it was bound to happen eventually. They were from such different worlds. Maya pretended not to hear, but inside, she was breaking into a million pieces. Friends stopped calling. Party invitations stopped coming. Even Maya's own family started asking careful questions. "Are you sure everything is okay?" Her mother asked on the phone one Sunday. "You sound tired." Maya wanted to scream. She wanted to cry. She wanted to tell someone that her whole life was falling apart. But instead, she said, "Everything is fine, Mama. Just busy." Because what could her mother do? What could anyone do? Derek had made his choice. Amanda had won. Or at least, that is what they thought. What Derek and Amanda did not know was that Maya had not been sitting around crying into her pillow every night. She had been working, planning, digging. Maya still had access to all of Derek's business accounts. After all, she had helped build that business from the ground up. She knew every password, every file, every secret. And as she looked through those files late at night, while Derek was out with Amanda, Maya started finding things. Strange things. Numbers that did not add up. Money moving to places it should not go. Deals that looked good on paper, but were actually hiding something dirty underneath. Derek had been lying about more than just his affair. He had been lying about everything. Maya made copies of everything she found. She organized it all in neat folders. She talked to lawyers in secret, asking questions, making plans. She was careful, so very careful, because she only had one shot at this. And now, finally, sitting in this courtroom with that cheap pen in her hand and divorce papers in front of her, all of Maya's hard work was about to pay off. She looked up at Judge Rivera. Their eyes met, and Maya gave him the tiniest nod. It was time. Judge Rivera cleared his throat. The sound echoed through the quiet courtroom like thunder. Before Mrs. Thompson signs these papers, the judge said slowly, "I have a few questions." Derek's lawyer looked annoyed. "Your Honor, this is a simple, uncontested divorce. Both parties have agreed to the terms. There is no need for questions. I will decide what is needed in my courtroom," Judge Rivera said sharply. His voice was not loud, but it made everyone sit up straighter in their chairs. "Mrs. Thompson, please approach the bench." Maya stood up. Her legs felt shaky, but she walked forward with her head held high. She could feel Amanda's eyes burning into her back like hot coals. "Mrs. Thompson," the judge said quietly so only Maya could hear, "are you sure you want to proceed with this divorce under these terms?" "No, Your Honor," Maya said clearly. "I am not." Behind her, she heard Amanda gasp. Derek made a sound like someone had punched him in the stomach. "What?" Derek's lawyer jumped up from his chair. "Your Honor, we had an agreement. She cannot just change her mind now." Judge Rivera held up his hand for silence. "Mrs. Thompson has every right to change her mind until the moment she signs. Now sit down." The lawyer sat down, but his face was red with anger. Judge Rivera looked at Maya with kind eyes. "Would you like to tell the court why you are changing your mind?" Maya nodded. She reached into her bag and pulled out a thick folder. It was full of papers, bank statements, emails, documents, all the proof she had been collecting for months. "Your Honor," Maya said in a strong, clear voice, "my husband wants this divorce so he can marry his mistress. He says the business is his, and that I deserve only a small amount of money, because I did not really contribute to his success." "That is correct," Derek's lawyer interrupted. "Mrs. Thompson was simply a housewife. She did some bookkeeping in the early years, but the business success is entirely due to Mr. Thompson's hard work and vision." Maya smiled. It was not a nice smile. "That is interesting, because according to these documents, I am actually listed as co-founder of the company. My name is on all the original paperwork. I worked without pay for the first 5 years, doing all the accounting, all the tax filing, all the legal paperwork. I used my own savings to help start the business. $15,000 from my college fund went into that company. Derek's face went white. That was a gift, he stammered. You gave me that money as a gift. Actually, Maya said calmly, according to the signed document from 7 years ago, it was a business investment. You promised me 20% ownership of the company. I have your signature right here. She held up a piece of paper. Judge Rivera took it and read it carefully. His eyebrows went up. This appears to be a legally binding agreement, the judge said. Mr. Thompson, did you sign this? Derek looked at his lawyer with panic in his eyes. The lawyer grabbed the paper and read it. His face went from red to white to red again. This changes everything, the lawyer muttered. But Maya was not done. Not even close. There is more, Your Honor, she continued. While going to the business accounts, which I still have access to as co-founder, I discovered some very interesting things. She pulled out more papers from her folder. For the past 2 years, my husband has been moving money into secret accounts. He has been hiding income from the IRS. He created fake expenses to reduce the company's taxes. And he's been paying his mistress, Amanda, a salary of $200,000 per year for a job that should pay $60,000 at most. Amanda jumped to her feet. That is a lie. I work hard for my salary. Really? Maya turned to look at her. Can you explain what you do exactly? Because according to these emails, most of your workday is spent planning expensive dinners and shopping trips with my husband. You have no degree from Stanford. By the way, I checked. You went to community college for 1 semester and then dropped out. Amanda's face turned bright red. You have no right to investigate me. I have every right to investigate someone who is stealing from a company I own part of. Maya shot back. Judge Rivera banged his gavel. Order. Everyone sit down and be quiet. The room went silent again. The judge looked at all the papers Maya had given him. He read slowly, his face getting more and more serious with each page. Finally, he looked up at Derek. Mr. Thompson, these are very serious accusations. Tax fraud, hidden assets, misuse of company funds. I am going to order a full investigation of your business. And until that investigation is complete, all of your assets are frozen. That means no money can be moved. No property can be sold. Nothing. You cannot do that. Derek shouted, jumping up from his chair. I just did, Judge Rivera said coldly. And if you do not sit down and be quiet, I will hold you in contempt of court. That means jail, Mr. Thompson. Do you understand? Derek sat down. He looked like he might throw up. The judge turned back to Maya. Mrs. Thompson, given these new circumstances, I am denying this divorce petition. You and your husband will need to sort out the business ownership and potential criminal matters before any divorce can proceed. I am also ordering that you receive 50% of all marital assets immediately, as well as half of all business profits moving forward. Your Honor, this is outrageous. Derek's lawyer protested. What is outrageous? Judge Rivera said, his voice sharp as a knife. Is a man trying to cheat his wife out of business she helped build so he can run off with his mistress. What is outrageous is hiding money from the government. What is outrageous is the behavior I have witnessed in this courtroom today. He looked at Amanda, who was crying now, her makeup running down her face in black streaks. And you, young lady, I suggest you find a new job. Because if I were you, I would not want to be associated with Mr. Thompson when the IRS comes knocking. And they will come knocking. I am personally making sure of that. Amanda grabbed her purse and ran out of the courtroom, her high heels clicking frantically on the floor. The door slammed behind her. Derek put his head in his hands. His gold pen rolled off the table and clattered onto the floor. Nobody picked it up. Maya stood there, feeling lighter than she had felt in months. Years, maybe, all the pain, all the humiliation, all the nights cry herself to sleep, it had all led to this moment. Judge Rivera looked at her with something like respect in his eyes. Mrs. Thompson, I admire your courage. Too many people in your situation just accept whatever scraps they are thrown. You fought back. You were smart. You gathered evidence. You did everything right. Thank you, Your Honor, Maya said softly. My advice to you, the judge continued, is to get yourself a very good lawyer, not for the divorce, not yet, but to help you claim what is rightfully yours. That business is half yours, maybe more, depending on what the investigation finds. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. Maya nodded. She already had a lawyer, a very good one. She had been planning this for a long time. As she walked out of the courtroom, Maya felt the sun on her face. It was a beautiful day. The sky was bright blue, without a single cloud. Behind her, she could hear Derek arguing with his lawyer, his voice high and panicked. She heard him say Amanda's name over and over, probably trying to call her. But Amanda was gone. When things got hard, people like Amanda always ran away. Maya got into her car and sat there for a moment, just breathing, just feeling. She thought about that night at the anniversary party, when Amanda had humiliated her in front of everyone, when Derek had sat there in silence and let it happen, when Maya had felt small and worthless and alone. But she had not been worthless. She had never been worthless. She had just forgotten her own strength for a little while. Maya started her car and drove away from the courthouse. She did not know exactly what would happen next. There would be investigations and lawyers, and probably a lot of complicated legal stuff. Derek might go to jail for tax fraud. The business might have to be sold. But whatever happened, Maya knew one thing for sure. She was not going to be pushed aside. She was not going to be erased. She had built something real, something valuable, and nobody was going to take it from her without a fight. Sometimes, the people who underestimate you are the ones who end up learning the hardest lessons. Derek had thought Maya was weak because she was kind. He thought she was stupid because she trusted him. He thought he could throw her away like garbage and replace her with someone he liked better. He was wrong about all of it. As Maya drove down the highway toward her new future, she smiled. It was a real smile this time. Not the fake one she had been wearing for months. Not the sad one she had been hiding behind. A real, genuine, happy smile. Because sometimes, just sometimes, the good guys really do win in the end.